The storm has come. I can feel the temperature dropping. It won't be much of a decrease, from nearly intolerable to merely sweltering, but it is a notable and odd sensation on this planet nonetheless. I know what that sound entails. I've repaired that evaporator more times than I can count. Fading power cells, weathered walls, cracking from time, everything aging, including me. The pendulum swings again, and darkness returns. As the Clone Wars raged on, worse calamities befell the galaxy. Though a supposed victory for the Republic, the entire planet of Atrakan was rendered inhospitable during a brutal attack. Millions died. And now, years in, we had reached our darkest hour yet. Perhaps a shining beacon amid the quietus of this period was my kinship with Anakin. We were, perhaps, the closest we'd ever been. But we also spent long periods together, in silence. Endlessly reliving our battle, always working to purge the shrouds of shadow that threatened to fall across us. Then we were called away from the front lines for a task so secret, no one would discuss its details with us, even over the most secure comm channels.
It could rain.
I would welcome it. Let the sky shed a few tears for how tired I am.
We covered our sense of foreboding with the comfort of our rapport.
Maybe you're just tired because you're getting older.
I think you mean wiser.
Speaking of which, where's the wisdom in pulling us all the way back here when we're supposed to be reinforcing a blockade in Herdesa?
Haven't you heard? They want you to go back to pod racing. The council thinks it's your true calling.
Don't tempt me.
But our comfort dissipated when we caught sight of Admiral Yularen. It was apparent that even he was suffering from the weight of the war.
Generals Kenobi, Skywalker, come in. I'm glad you could both make it here.
The Republic ordered us here, Admiral.
We left many of our allies during a time of great need. I pray our divided attention is worth their trouble.
I'm afraid it is. Sit. I have no official mission briefing for you. This is too sensitive. But the Council chose you two because they feel you can be trusted most.
What is it, Admiral? All this prelude.
General Kenobi, do you remember Commander McKedricks from the Battle of Abrion Bridge?
My chest tightened, as if my heart had suddenly been wrapped in rope. A weight hung from it in my chest.
Yes, of course.
After Abrion, McKedricks continued to serve with honor and distinction at Ryloth, Seleucami. But shortly after the loss of the Temple of Edith on Deveron, he disappeared. We believe that he may have gone rogue.
What do you mean, rogue?
That was when I knew this was going to be even worse than I thought.
Have you heard anything concerning the Deathwind?
The Space Trade Corridor?
No, something that bears the same name. Something worse. Rumors of an execution squad. Something that's been striking out at detachments of clones operating from an unknown sector, ambushing them. It isn't aligned with the Separatists either. A handful of high-ranking members from various councils in the Confederacy have also been killed. 3 months ago, an entire commerce guild hub on Mintuin was raided, its residents slaughtered. No real military target. The intent was only terroristic murder. We've had our suspicions of McKedrick since he vanished. That the namesake Deathwind trade corridor passes by his homeworld of Rune only strengthens the connection.
But why? Why is he killing indiscriminately?
We can't be certain. But right now our best guess is that the war may have broken him in some irreparable way.
Irreparable? That far gone? He was one of our own. A hero of the Republic.
I admired Anakin in that moment. But I also remembered Mechatrix's eyes after the Battle of Abrion Bridge. How hollow they were.
We may have finally found him. He and the Deathwind may have taken up a covert position on Ando, among its swamplands. You must go there at once. This is unofficial. Wider knowledge of his war crimes could be damaging to the Republic among neutral and even loyal systems.
Once we capture him, what's to be done with him?
Some believe the most prudent course of action is for the target to be eliminated on sight.
What? The Jedi might be dutiful soldiers, but we're not about to assassinate anyone.
Easy, Anakin.
If we just accept that this man is beyond saving, then what hope is there for a fractured Republic once this war ends? Incredible. They pull us off the front lines to go off and murder someone.
We're not going to murder anyone. Even if Mechadrix is lost, we will do everything we can to reach him. Convince him to surrender.
The Separatists believed there was no hope for the Republic, so they chose war. They chose to kill. I refuse to operate in the same way. An ordered galaxy is a noble cause. Murder is not.
I agree. But that doesn't mean we won't go into this situation and encounter the dangerous mind of Commander Mechadrix with our eyes open, yes?
Yes.
Our eyes were open, but the fog of war remained thick, as did the bog mists in this remote corner of Ando.
You know, I once visited an unnaturally dark land with my master years ago. Quite treacherous. Another menacing killer in our midst.
What happened?
We found the light, all of us, even he who'd become lost.
Was I trying to convince Anakin that a past victory could be repeated here? Or myself?
Master, look.
Only effigies, warnings to travelers.
Right. But what happened to the soldiers who once wore that armor?
I did not want to kill Mechadrix. I did not desire to kill anyone. I'd already seen more than my share of death. When I was a youngling, I suppressed the eventuality that one day I would use my saber to cut down another life. Foolish denial on my part, obviously. But then, Qui-Gon died before my eyes, and I cleaved Maul in two, and the war began. But even in those first few years, when Anakin was still just a boy, I hoped against hope that he would never have to use his gifts in a way that took life. But he would have to, countless times. By then, I had a familiarity with death. Truthfully, I despised my level of comfort with it. What had Mechadrix's familiarity with it done to him?
When we leave here, Mechadrix will be with us in binders, but alive.
I hope you're right.
But the cold of evil was already all around us. And then we reached the terminus of the river.
The sign. Into the night I go.
Sent by the winds of death and all who feed its currents.
Jedi, noble, virtue, liars, servants of the wind.
We seek an audience with Commander Mechadrix.
How does one seek when one is blinded by the hood of death?
I served with him in the war at Abrion Bridge.
A bridge to nowhere, a bridge to the abyss of this swamp.
Please, tell him my name is Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is Anakin Skywalker.
Sabers, give them. No blades, only sharpened bones.
Very well.
Master?
Anakin, hand them over.
Follow.
The outpost was built from the ruins of an ancient temple dating back a millennium. A few weathered runic markings told me this place had once belonged to the Sith. This would have been a dark side stronghold during the Jedi-Sith War. Freeing Mechadrix's mind could prove even more difficult in a place like this.
Wait here. Enter.
General Kenobi, my old compatriot. Welcome to the natural end of valor.
Commander Mechadrix, you will return with us to Coruscant. There you will answer for your crimes.
Ha! What crimes?
The lives you've taken. Lives of the honorable, the innocent.
No, boy. I saved them all by showing them the truth.
What truth?
War is just a distraction, a hypocritical game that denies its own real goal, the goal of our entire existence. Annihilation. We live to kill and die. Everything else we do is beside the point. I serve the one true master, death itself.
Mechadrix, I know the horrors you've witnessed. I've seen them myself.
No, Obi-Wan. I finally found the light you claim to follow. It is a void, an eventuality, pulling us all inside it. Clones are created to serve death. The Confederacy rips apart the galaxy, unwittingly in this service of death. Even you, Jedi, your uncanny power. You call it the Force, but it is the Death Mind, the strength of the Void itself. This sword was made from the bones of a clone trooper. Why let such a prime agent of death rot and waste away?
What was his name?
Clones have no names, just numbers and letters off an assembly line.
Iroh served with us at Abrion Bridge. So did Cody. Tell us, what use has death for a name?
I don't have time for riddles.
Names like Mechadrix, Obi-Wan, Anakin, or Oron, Lieutenant Oron of Rune, who served alongside you for so long. Tell me, what use has death for a sunrise? When the light falls on the Icunian peaks in the morning, catching the bands of the gemstones just right.
You know nothing of Oron or our home in Rune.
A sunrise needs 3 parts to exist: the light of a star, the sky of a world, and a life to observe it.
Nonsense! Suns rise and set without us. Planets orbit, stars burn and die as well.
Ah yes, but life gives the sunrise meaning, sees its beauty, cherishes its splendor, mourns its absence. I ask again, what use has death for a sunrise, or a name, or a home like Rune, or a friend like Oron?
Master, I didn't mean to.
It's all right, Anakin. You did nothing wrong.
Don't hold it against me, boy. It merely seemed the quickest way back to the sunrise.
He is home. Let us return to ours.
The light will shine again once the storm passes. But for how long?